How's it going, everyone? So today I'll be introducing a tool for 3D modeling and kit bashing for either most NIF type games from my understanding. I use this for Skyrim, but I'm pretty sure you can use it for Oblivion and as well as a few other possible games. I've seen it used for Oblivion and Skyrim so far. So I worked on this tool. The creator of the actual script goes by the name of Meatball. I've not actually met them, but I've talked to them quite often about how to use this script and if I can release it. And I built a tool around it. This script uses either Nifly or Nif tools. And all the tools that you'll need Xedit, Blender 3.5 or newer. 4.0 works as well. Your game's BSA folders for Skyrim, let's say, unzipped, but you'll also need the CK. You will also need, let me think, again, Nifly and Nif tools. So I'll quickly show you how to do this and install it. So let's say you've already downloaded the actual file. You want to manually download it, leave it zipped, don't unzip it. You're going to go to Blender. You're going to go to Edit up here in the corner. Preferences. You can go to, well, actually make sure this is on add-ons. Go to Install. Look for your downloads and go to, this is named NifCity Importer, and it uses pnifly and niftools. So I'll install this. Again, make sure it's on add-ons. Click Install and find that. This is for Blender 3.5. I'll show you Blender 4.0 real quick as well. For Blender 4.0 or newer, I have 4.4. Again, it's Edit, Preferences. For here, it's going to be a little different. So make sure it's on add-ons. It's going to be a little drop-down arrow here in the corner. Go to Install from Disk, and then you can find it and install. So I'll install it here as well. NifCity, install from disk. It's installed. All right. So next thing is going to be we have to get a script that we're going to use to do the scanning into Xedit. It's fairly easy. So if this is going to be the same also in 3.5 and 4.0. So if you go over here, there's going to be, I'll show you. I just got to get this little guy out. Oh, maybe he doesn't want to go in. There'll be a little arrow along this edge right here where you can pull out item tools and view, usually right here. This is your outliner, and there'll be a little arrow you can pull out right next to it up top. Well, anyways, this tool is going to be in this panel area. It's going to be labeled NifCity Importer. You're going to click on that, and this is going to be the tool here. You can enlarge it as well. What we're looking for is this exporter folder. So this is for the actual .pass file that's going to go into Xedit, a script. It's going to generate our layout. So you're going to find Xedit. Okay, you're going to go to, for me, it's in my C drive. I'm going to go to Tools in my modding folder. And Xedit's right here. And my scripts are right here. So it's going to be edit scripts, but it's going to be in your scripts. You're going to accept that. And then you can hit generate Blender export. All right, you're going to click that. It'll create that actual script in that folder for you. Okay. Then you're going to minimize this. All right, that's minimized. We're going to then go to Xedit. I just happen to already have it loaded up. This isn't a tutorial on how to use Xedit. This is just going to be how to show you how to install and use this fairly quickly. So you're going to go up to Xedit. You're going to run it. I already have it running. You're going to have your Skyrim list, or let's say your mod that you want to use to take a bashed kit for a mod that you want and import it into Blender and condense it or optimize it, for instance. But I'm going to This is basically going to be that process. So you're going to look for the cell or the world space. In this case, I'll show you where cells are. It's going to be up under here for Skyrim. It's going to be right here. Basically, you're going to find your cell. You have to dig for it sometimes. If you're wanting to scan something from the vanilla game, right click, apply script. You're going to dig through all these scripts and you're going to find one called Blender Export. It's not going to have a 3 next to it. Don't worry about that. If it does, that's probably the one too. But there's going to be only one script named Blender Export from my understanding. You can hit save if you want to reuse it later, but hit OK. Don't change anything in here. All right. So I'm going to close that. I'm going to do a world space. Let's do Riften. So I'm going to do Riften world space. Apply script. Mine's already chosen. I'm going to hit OK. It's going to scan all of Riften in that world space. All the cells in that world space. And it's going to say done down here. All right. I'm going to exit out of this. That's all I need from that. It's fairly easy and straightforward. Doesn't take long to actually do the process. Now, in my xedit file, let me minimize this for you. Right here, you'll see that you have a output.txt file, right? That's the only one you're going to have. I have a few in here because I've done this for pictures. But this is going to be the only file you need. It's going to be right next to your .exe for xedit. It's going to be in the same location where you basically have xedit installed. If you want to quickly get there, a good way to take note is find it in MO2. If you have MO2 and you're using it, just click up on edit when it's selected and your file path will be right there. That's where that output file is going to be at. So with you knowing that location now, I'm going to hop back into Blender. I'm going to pull this back out. There's that little arrow I was talking about. I'm going to go to my tool. Now, there's actually one other thing we need. It's going to be the mesh folder. What I mean by that is, I'll do a quick thing for you. You're going to need a tool called BSA Extractor. Basically, what that tool does is it takes your meshes, all your meshes. You need your meshes and your textures from the game that you're going to be using. This only works for nifs. And so far, I've only seen this work for Oblivion and Skyrim. Old Oblivion, not the remaster. So, basically, what you're going to do is you're going to find your vanilla game and the files that you're going to extract with BSA Extractor. And I'm not going to do a tutorial on that. There's definitely things online to show you how to do that. Let's see, mine's in program files, Havoc, Steam. Let's see, Steam apps, common. Let's see, Skyrim. I'm gonna use Skyrim as an example. Oh, you can do Skyrim or SE. I like using Skyrim because they're easy files to kind of like edit. But you can use Skyrim SE as well. Doesn't matter which one actually for this tool. You're gonna go to Data. You're gonna click on Meshes. Now mine are already extracted. Your files are going to look like this once everything's extracted. But the BSAs you're looking for are actually, I passed them. Your BSAs that you're looking for are, did I take them out of here? Huh, I did. I stored them somewhere. Where did I store them at? Oh, were they in there? That's funny. Oh, they're not in here either. Wild. Alright. I'll just show you Skyrim. Skyrim's going to be the same layout. That's funny. So, let's do data. Here, I'll show you from the start. Okay. You're going to find your base game. Skyrim for me, I'm going to show you. It works for SE as well. It's going to be in your data folder. Your BSAs are going to be this. It's going to be Skyrim Animation BSA. You're going to look for meshes and textures. Those are going to be the ones that you want to extract. They're going to be meshes and textures. You might have to extract a few others just because I know the DLC like Dawn Guard and all of them are in several other BSAs. So you want to actually extract everything, back these up. I extracted them right into here. Your meshes folder is going to be the big thing that you want to keep track of. All right. So I got this. I'm going to go back to Blender. This CSV path. Click this folder. You're going to find that output file for Xedit. Mine's already here, but you want to go looking for that. And you're going to click on it right there, that output file. So Xedit, where it's installed. You can copy the path from the folder that you had earlier. I just have these little handy folders and click on. I'm going to click on the output.txt right there, accept. And we want to do meshes folder because this only works if you have everything unzipped. So your meshes folder you got to find next. Hit this folder here. I'm going to go click on my meshes folder. And if you look in here, this is the same folder I was in earlier. So it has, let me do it alphabetically so it looks familiar. Actors on top, architecture. This has all your meshes and stuff in it from your BSAs that you extracted. Okay, just to show you the same, here is your Skyrim game right here, or Skyrim SE. Your data, meshes, your meshes folder. That's all you need. Just click on the meshes folder. You don't need to click on any folder in here. This needs to be just meshes. Hit accept. Your two paths will be right here. Okay, so there's a thing here. All right, so you have normalize. Basically what that does is you have a world origin. When this imports, it'll bring that cell and it'll normalize it or give it an average, like an average normal origin to where it generates, like where that cube is in the middle of this area. If that's turned off, your cell is going to generate way off over there or way off over there. That doesn't really matter because you can bring it over here, but so you don't have to go looking for it. You can just leave that ticked on, okay? And right here you have batch import nif tools or batch import pnifly, all right? You want to make sure you have those installed before using this. Same way before, I'm just going to show you what I have installed real quick. Nif. This is pnifly. I also have nif tools installed on my 3.5. Nif tools varies from version to version, so make sure you know what the version of nif tools that you have can do, what it's capable of. This script should also work on Fallout, now that I think about it. But yeah, make sure you know what your nif importer base tool is capable of for what you're using. Nif tools and nifly can both import Skyrim. Some nif tool variants can import Skyrim SE. I know nifly can for a fact. I've seen it done with nif tools as well. I usually use nif tools on a lot, but I made a variant for this for both nifly and nif tools. And make sure you press the button that corresponds to the one that you're using. Don't use nif tools for nifly. You have to. And also, quick warning. If you're trying to export these files, they have to be exported with the same tool they were imported with. Meaning that if you use the nif tools button right here, you have to export that mesh with nif tools. If you're importing with nifly, vice versa, you have to export your meshes with nifly. That's just how it works. You can, of course, export your meshes as FBX or any of these other. I'm just giving you a heads up. You can do that. But for them to be the proper nif file, they have to be exported with the same tool. These tools don't operate the same. They're both created in two different methods for Blender. This is just an add-on for those tools, basically. All right. So once you import If it's a small cell, meaning an interior cell, it could take up to 5 minutes to 10 minutes. If you're trying to import a whole world space, let's say the size of Whiterun, it's probably going to take upwards to 20 minutes to maybe even a half an hour to import. So have this going in the background. If you're trying to import all of Skyrim, I don't know how long that'll take. If you have meshes that are missing, it could be because NifTool has a few issues. I usually use 1.0. For some reason, I have issues with some of the actual meshes not importing correctly, so they might be missing. So if that's an issue, either switch to a different version of NifTools where that might be fixed with a newer issue or an older version. I use 1.0. I know 1.1 can be good. Also, I think there's someone else currently working on some stuff, but I'm getting off topic. But if NifTools don't work, you also have pnifly. Nifly works great as well. I haven't had any missing meshes with Nifly yet, so I use it. Another thing is I'll show you these tools here in a minute. So I'll just open up a file that I've already imported. Open recently. Let's go to, oh, my dog's drinking water in the background, so sorry about that. Let's open a file that we've already opened. Desktop. My desktop's a mess. Blender for photos. So let's look at Riften. All right. So for Riften, it might take a minute to load actually. Hopefully it won't. Well, I guess while we're waiting for that, did it actually load or did it crash? Let's exit out of some of these so I know what's going on here. Huh. Deadland stuff. I think 4.0 is throwing a hissy fit at me. So let's do open with. I'm going to do 3.5 instead. I guess I can explain these other tools for while I guess I wait. So when you get an actual imported kit bash, you can clean it up with some of these tools I provided on this as well. So you have delete all empties. Then you have delete collision and convex hulls and armatures. Combine meshes by material name. And then clear extra materials. Because usually when you combine or join in giant meshes in Blender, you'll have multiple materials when they're imported with this with multiple numbered names. So basically it'll be the same material but with a different number at the end of it, and it creates a mess of the same material, quite literally the same thing. Well, this fixes that, and then it'll clear up all the extra materials, so only one mesh will have one material on it. Okay, so I think that's loaded. Oh wow, no, it doesn't want to load. It's probably got to be, probably because it has to be Blender 3 or 4.4. I'm betting that's probably why. It's probably a 4.4 file. Yep, it was a 4.4 file. Okay, so wow, that went a lot quicker than I thought. So Also, when you import, it's going to look like this. You're barely going to see anything. You're going to have issues. To fix that, you're going to go up to where it says clip end. Click on that. I put it out to a whopping, like, I forget, just a 5 and a bunch of zeros. And then it'll show you the entire mesh, basically. This size that it imports at is going to be the size that you want to export at for it to be the same size back in the CK and in Skyrim. Okay. The clip start is going to fix, see this jittery where it's clipping like this? That's going to fix that. So I just usually click it about once and it'll straighten up a lot of the edges and the clipping. So here's Riften in all its glory. A lot of these BSX flags are just empties. You can clean those up if you want. You can also leave them if you want to re-export them. I also got trees in here. These little black dots, I believe, are their animation. I'm pretty sure those aren't their vertices. I know that for a fact. But yeah, these are all different meshes. This is the entire city of Riften, including some of the mountains in the background. Now, if you want your textures to show, which I'm not going to show you the textures, you can hold down Z and go to Material Preview. But if it's not showing the textures, you have to point Blender to the textures. So if I remember correctly, it's going to be at, let's see, maybe link or append. And you're going to look for your textures files. I do believe it's going to be in the same area your meshes are. And if it isn't that, it might be an edit. I'm pretty sure it's actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure it is in system. Pretty sure it was the way I just showed you. I'm trying to figure out. I think it's in linked or append. It's one of those two, I do believe. But I know when you do export this, you can link your textures back to your actual files in NifScope as well. But that's basically what I really wanted to show you. Trying to think, why did that pop up? Here. All right. That is the tool in a nutshell. Pretty simple. I've used it to help Skyblivian optimize a lot of meshes. I use this on my projects to optimize a lot of meshes. What I mean by that is it takes a lot of the small objects and you can condense it to one nif. And it's basically just a lot of nif objects in that one. You can also combine them into one tri-shape as well. Mind you that if you do combine these, most cases the shape, each one of these shapes that are highlighted will be a tri-shape. One tri-shape. Each one tri-shape cannot exceed about roughly 27 to 30,000 triangles or polygons. Blender does this thing where it'll split up triangles into more. It's actually roughly around 30,000 or 60,000 vertices it cannot also have. So sometimes Skyrim, or not Skyrim, but Blender or just NifScope or NifS in general, when you export them and they have something called sharp edges, they'll create more. So you might not be able to also export that at 30,000. It's really weird. It's a little bit of math involved, but you can definitely exceed 30,000 as well in some cases. It just depends on how your actual 3D model is built to be exported. But the try shape cannot exceed 30,000. You can export this entire thing as one NIF. It's going to take a while to export, but you can do that. But it's not going to be in one try shape. It's going to be in multiple. And if you do have a shape that is over 30,000 tries or triangles, basically I'm saying these little guys here, you can just break it up into smaller shapes. But yep, that's just about it. I just wanted to go over the tool really quick, explain it to you, and yeah, I'll be around. I'm still working on mods. I plan on still updating stuff for the foreseeable future, hopefully. All right, you have a good night.